Hey guys, I'm back, and I know I've told you in a previous video, the reason why you're seeing me in the same clothes is because I'm recording several videos at the same time because I have a little bit of time to dedicate to making videos while only one of my kids is home. The rest are in school. So our foster adoption update. Where do I begin? This has been an absolute whirlwind of emotions and stress and trying to figure it all out and planning, among other things. And to say that it was a fun task is not. No. We are a licensed foster family, a resource home, family, whatever you want to consider us, in our state. We started this process in February of 2017, and by the end of September of 2017, we were approved for our home study was approved. There you go. This whole process was, I want to say it was stressful. We had a fantastic social worker, and he no longer is with our adoption agency. He just decided that things, he needed to do things differently. Nothing bad happened. He just recently got married, and he really wanted more time, I think, with his significant other, his new spouse. And you know, I'm sad that he left our agency, but at the same time I wish him well in all his future endeavors and his journey in life, because he was absolutely fantastic. He made things so much easier for us and less stressful. He was really easy and, you know, go with the flow, and he was just easy to you know, discuss things with when it came to our home study. For those that don't know, when you do a home study, they actually give you like this huge stack of papers, and you have to go through and do all your medical, your kids' medical if you had kids. You have to have your pets vaccinated. You have to have proof of all that. You have to have birth certificates for all your children and yourself. You have to have marriage license. You have to have financial sheets. All your bank statements, everything, every last little thing that you can think of is put into a file, which is called your home study. And they go through your home and they tell you what you need to fix. We had 3 things that we had to do when he first came out and gave us our orientation. And told us what we needed to do. We needed to have screens on every single window, because we had 3 that didn't have screens. The kids' bedrooms didn't have screens, and then one of our sunroom windows didn't have a screen. We also needed 2 fire extinguishers and a fire escape ladder for the only room in the house that is more than 1 story off the ground is our bedroom, the master bedroom. So we do have a fire escape ladder and 2 5-pound fire extinguishers. And then our BB guns, airsoft guns, and the crossbow, and all of the ammunition had to be locked up in separate cases. So we had to purchase a rifle case for our son's BB gun, airsoft rifle, and then his little CO2 pistol. And then we had to purchase an ammunition box for all that, and they had to be locked, but they're also behind locked doors. The crossbow is locked in a case and is currently in the garage behind locked doors. So that was like really the only thing that we really had to do. I think that was it. For as far as like our home study to be completed. And when our social worker came through and did our actual home inspection, we passed, no problem, you know, never even gave us anything to work on. All medications, regardless of what they are out of our children's reach, above our microwave, where we can barely reach because we're only 5'4". So we are a licensed foster and resource family, and we have had a foster child. We are only licensed for one foster child because in most states, without getting a waiver, you can only have 6 children in a home, whether they be biological or foster and or adopted. And by 6 children, I mean under the age of 18, or 18 and under. Anything over 18 is not considered a child via standards for this. So we are only allowed, without a waiver, to have one child brought into our home at a time, unless it's other circumstances such as a respite care, which is in between foster families, or other reasons, like emergency situations. I'm currently actually in future foster and or adoptive child's bedroom. This is where I film right now. Once we have a new placement or are adopting, all of my things will be moved elsewhere. And I will have to figure out where to film. But that is another topic in itself. So we are licensed. We are, our licensing only lasts for 1 year, which at that time we have to go through some more training. I think it's like 16 hours of training, and then as long as our CPR and first aid are still up to date, then they just come do a walkthrough and make sure you still have fire extinguishers, safety ladder, all your windows have screens, everything in the house is safe for the child or children, and they say, okay, you got another year. Our original goal was to adopt. We had our heart set on a child that lived in another state, but for those that don't know, if you adopt through the foster care system, depending upon where you are, if you adopt a child from your state, your adoption costs absolutely nothing. Your home study costs nothing. The state of whatever you live in will cover the cost and expenses of adoption and your home study. The only thing that you had to pay for out of pocket, truly, that we've had to pay for, is we had to do a CPS background investigation for the previous states in which we lived, which would have been Virginia and Maryland. Obviously both of ours came back clear. We also had to pay for our a federal background check for both of us, which also both came back clear. My husband has previously had security clearance, being in the military, so we knew everything was good to go for both of our backgrounds, and those are the only 2 things we had to pay out of, we actually had to pay out of pocket for before we got to our medical. When we got to our medical, we couldn't get in with our primary care physician in time to take an emergency placement. We had less than a week, so we ended up going to an urgent care facility and paying out of pocket for a physical, and that was like $160 for the 2 of us. So that was done like on a Thursday, and that Friday we were approved for our home study. That was the only thing that they were waiting on from us, was our medical. So we did pay a little bit more than $200 and something to become licensed foster parents. All of our educational training, like our trauma and they call it Pride where we live, our Pride training, that teaches you about, you know, what children, why children come into care, and teaches you how to deal with certain situations, but nothing will truly prepare you for what or who is placed in your home. A lot of children that come into care are, you know, children that have been abused, neglected, sexually abused. Their parents can't care for them. They don't have the income. They're drug addicts. You name it. There's so many reasons why these children come into care. And, you know, they just want a home. And it may not seem like some of these kids want a home. They just want to do whatever. But truly, they may not say it out loud. They just want someone to care about them. It's not going to give up on them. It's not going to throw them out on the street. And, you know, that's why we're doing what we're doing. We have space in our home. I'm currently sitting in the room. The bed's over there. Dresser, desk. You know, everything behind me is technically my stuff. But, you know, it'll all get moved out and they have their room back. They have a bathroom, which is just behind this wall, all to themselves. So they have their own little room. It's not little, it's quite large. It's almost as big as the master bedroom. And the closet, of course. But I mean, like, we have tons of space here for them, and we have more than enough love to give to another child, and that's why we are choosing to adopt. Not only that, but, you know, we have chosen to foster and or adopt a teenaged female that will hopefully fit our family dynamic quite well. We were under the impression that once you turned 18 that you were automatically booted out of foster care. They no longer kept you and kind of threw you out on the street, which, yes, technically that does happen. But here's the thing. When you're a ward of the state or in foster care, there are some loopholes to getting past the 18 years of age thing. If you're still enrolled in school and or college, once you turn 18, if you were in foster care, if you finish school and enroll directly into college of some sort, whether it be a trade school, community college, four-year college, doesn't matter. Any college that you enroll to, if you were in foster care, then you will qualify to stay in foster care for another extended portion of time. I'm not sure how long that is, but children that are 18 years of age and still in school, the moment you turn 18, you can either sign yourself back into care or you can just fall off their radar, which is technically what happens most of the time. They fall off the radar. So that I did not know until we had our foster placement, which is a great learning experience. It was totally, you know, something I wouldn't have learned any other way, but our goal is to take in a child who wants to be adopted, who wants a family. We have a wild and crazy bunch, having 5 kids, myself, Kevin, 4 cats, and a dog. Yes. We have a wild and crazy bunch, and we have more than enough time, energy, love, and space in not only our house but our hearts for another child. No, we are not having any more biological children, and there are many reasons to this. One is because several years ago when my 3rd child was, before she was born, while I was pregnant with her, I was told that she had an indicator for Down syndrome. She had a calcium deposit on her heart, which is one of like the main indicators of Down syndrome via sonogram. I did not do an amniocentesis with any of my pregnancies or any of my children. And then with our youngest, our daughter Riley, we also were told during my pregnancy that because her leg measurements were short, there was a soft indicator for Down syndrome. And I looked at the midwife, or told the midwife because she called me. I told the midwife that, have you met my husband? Those are my exact words. Have you met my husband? Do you know how tall he is? She's like, no. And I said, we're the same height. We're both 5'4". I don't think her leg measurements are going to be a problem. Come come to find out, both my girls are perfectly healthy. So neither of them have Down syndrome or anything else wrong with them. But because of my advanced age, and as you get older, everything after 30 has an increased potential for you to have a child with a chromosomal abnormality such as Down syndrome, trisomy 18, and I do not want to have any more biological children, because I almost lost too much blood with Riley's delivery. And I did not know this, but if you have multiple children, like if you continue to have children, every pregnancy that you have results in more blood loss. And I was completely unaware of this, and I was told after delivery of Riley in 2014. So we are not having any more biological children, even though we want our family to grow. We are just not going to grow it in that way. We think that fostering and adopting would be more of a beneficial thing for our family and for the children that are already on this earth. So that's our current foster adoption update. You know, we'll do another one shortly, I think. And that is that. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.